Hello and welcome to Artifacts with Edie, a live show and tell of the artifacts here at the Summit County Historical Society. Thanks for bearing with us this morning as we had some technical difficulties, so we're getting started a little bit later than usual this morning. But we have a fantastic artifact ready for you. My name is Edie Steiner, and I'm a music therapist with Akron Public Schools at Bridges Learning Center, and I'm also the shepherdess at the Summit County Historical Society. Today we are outside of the Perkins Stone Mansion, and this morning Dave and Reva, part of our educational team, they just finished another exciting and educational adventure on our Farm Friday program. Maybe you could come with us next Friday. Join us here at the Perkins Stone Mansion. We're located at 550 Copley Road. Next Friday, we'll be celebrating a few birthdays, so you'll have to check the Historical Society's webpage or live on Facebook to find out who we are celebrating, because it's kind of a surprise. But do you remember who the founders of the city of Akron were? Well, I'm going to give you an easy way to remember this. There's a famous singer, and his name is Paul Simon. If I remember his name, then I can remember the names of the founders of the city of Akron: General Simon Perkins and Paul Williams. So just remember, Paul Simon, General Simon Perkins, and Paul Williams. General Perkins actually never lived here in Akron, and his hometown was in Warren, Ohio. Since it was so far away, General Perkins eventually had his son, Colonel Simon Perkins, move to Akron. Colonel Simon and Grace Perkins moved to Akron, and their daughter Anna came with them in 1834. And they rented the house we now call the John Brown House. Their stone house was built diagonally across the street, where I'm standing right now. During that time, Simon and Grace's second child was born, George Todd Perkins, and his middle name was actually his mom's maiden name, which was pretty common for the times. It took 2 years, from 1835 to 1837, to build this stone house with walls that are about 18 to 24 inches thick, that goes all the way from the basement to the third floor. So General Perkins paid for the house in Akron to be built, as he did for his daughter Olive in Warren. And actually, that house is the same as the one here in Akron, except it was built out of bricks and it's painted yellow. So Colonel Perkins' sister's home in Warren was called the Kinsman's House, and it's the home of the Warren Heritage Center. So let's take a closer look at the home here in Akron, because it is one of the best examples of the Greek Revival architecture style here in the state of Ohio. And it's said that Isaac Ladd was the architect of both the Kinsman House in Warren and the Stone House here in Akron, as the Perkins home here in the city, and it was called by the family the Stone House. A mason named John Gargett was hired from England to complete the task of building this really large structure. Can you imagine how much the stones weigh? The first thing that the team had to build, though, was water, because if you didn't have water, it wouldn't be possible to live on this land. Remember, during that time period, people did not have running water in their homes, and the well was as deep as about 30 to 40 feet, and it's almost as deep as the house is tall. The bucket would have been put inside the wall, and a pulley system with ropes on a large drum wheel would allow it to be picked up. The water would then come rushing out of the bucket and into the another bucket that was sitting on the ground. And the stone of the well base was actually brought to Akron via the canal boats. Remember how we talked about transportation? This transportation option that was introduced by the Perkins family to our region? What's also cool about this well is that the shed covering it has timbers or tree trunks from 1835 that still have the bark on it. Look at that bark. Oh, Rudy loves the bark too. Oh, sorry, that's a totally different kind of bark. One of the key details, though, in the Greek Revival's architectural style is symmetry. Symmetry is a reflection of shared forms and shapes or angles across a central line, or a point that your teacher probably calls the axis. And I'm so excited and happy to share this mathematical problem with you today. You can even take out a piece of paper and try this yourself if you like, or you can just imagine it in your mind's eye. Look at the front of the house, and I would like you to fold it or in half or tear it apart. Okay, you can do this in your mind because you can't actually break apart this house made of stone, but what did you see? Did you notice that both sides look the same? There are 2 upper windows and 2 lower windows, and the center window and door are split in half. There are also 4 columns called barrel columns because they are hollow. Barrel, hollow. So when the restoration work was completed a few years ago, someone put a camera down into that hole. I think it may have been Miss Leanne, and they took a picture. Here's an interesting fact. The lower level windows on each side of the front door are used to reach the floor. Residents of the house and guests, they could actually go in and out of the windows. But really they were made to just let the fresh air come in. Sometimes they would be used to provide room for bringing in coffins if the family had calling hours or a funeral inside the house. If we go to the south side of the mansion, the stones are in an absolutely perfect line. And the reason the work is so perfect here is because that's the side that the travelers would see when the stagecoach was going down the route of Copley Road. This is also, this side of the house also had a circle driveway that came up off of the stagecoach route, and you can actually go through those pillars today if people came to visit the Perkins family. So the southwest side of the house has a small porch leading to 2 doors. The door on the left leads to the kitchen, and the covered door on the right went into Colonel Simon Perkins' office. And he actually had a door from his office to his bedroom. Talk about convenient. A porch on the northwest side used to match the porch we just showed you because Greek Revival style houses needed to be symmetrical. So in the 1830s, a larger kitchen without a big wood burning, in the 1930s, a larger kitchen without a big wood burning fireplace like the one you saw when we did a show during week 6 was built. And in this new kitchen, they had an ice box. And these were inventions that were way before the refrigerator. So each week, somebody had to come to your house and they would deliver this huge block of ice that had been cut from a pond, and it had been stored in sawdust to kind of keep it cold. So this door could be opened, and inside the back of the ice box was opened and then allowed the delivery person to drop the ice off and keep the food cool over the coming week. So one last thing about symmetry. When the house was designed, the required placement for windows did not work out on the location of the fireplaces and space between the rooms. So the architect came up with a way to trick your eye into the symmetry. So where you see shutters closed, there's actually no window here. It looks like there's a space for it because it's in the right spot to match the other side of the house if the house was, again, folded in half. So here we take a look of the shutters. There's stone on the other side of the shutters. And that's a cool secret that you can share with a family member or a friend when you come to visit us next Friday or Saturday between 10 o'clock and 1 p.m. this summer. So now it's time to review before we reveal our artifact of the day. So question 1, tell me 3 words that are associated with symmetry. Now, symmetry is not where mathematicians are buried. You're really silly. Symmetry is a reflection of shared forms or shapes or angles across a central line or a point that's called an axis. You got it. Question 2. The Perkins Stone Mansion is one of the best examples of the architectural style of what in Ohio? Is it A, the Tudor style, B, the Art Deco style, C, the American Craftsman style, or D, Greek Revival? You must really be on point or on your axis if you said D, because the Greek Revival style is what we have been celebrating today. You should come out and check out this amazing home for yourself. Question 3. The last question today is a question that is of your opinion. So there's no right or wrong answer as long as you cite evidence from today's episode to support it. You can always rewind the video if you've forgotten something. Looking back in the text is always a really good idea, and it's something that I do as a strategy when I'm writing to make sure that other people understand what I'm saying. We can't wait to hear your answers. So our artifact of the day is a set of stone steps near the south porch of the Perkinstone Mansion, the home of Akron and Summit County's founding family. These steps would have been used to help ladies getting in and out of a carriage or a wagon. Remember the circle driveway that we talked about earlier? Well, this is one of the reasons that it came around to this portion of the house with their wide bottom dresses. Some of the dresses, they had like 6 feet of fabric or more at the bottom, and they had a hoop skirt during the Civil War era, and it was kind of difficult to climb up these steps during the time. These steps are made of the same stone as the house, and they would have made it much safer for women to get in and out of the family's transportation vehicle pulled by a horse, of course. Well, I need to catch my horseless carriage, which you might remember from episode 32, exactly what I'm talking about here. But join us next Friday with no technological glitches at 11:30 a.m. on Facebook for our next episode of Artifacts with Edie, where we show and tell the artifacts from the Summit County Historical Society, where history is always within reach. Don't forget to stop by tomorrow, Saturday, between the hours of 10 and 1. 550 Copley Road. We'll be here. Have a good day.